Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 22. Mahaprabhu continues his instructions to Sanatana Goswami. And so where we left off, we were covering the symptoms of various levels of Vaishnava. 3 delineated categories: Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam, beginner, medium, advanced. And each one has its own set of markers, set of symptoms, traits that characterize that level of bhakti. So Mahaprabhu is expressing these to Sanatana Goswami. Vigya janera haya yade Krishna guna jnana anyatyaji bhajye tate udhava pramana. Whenever an experienced person develops real knowledge of Krishna and his transcendental qualities, he naturally gives up all other engagements and renders service to the Lord. Now this verse, Aho Bakiyam Stana Kala Kutam Jigam Saya Payayad Apyasadvi Lebhegatim Datri Uchitam Tatonyam Kam Vadayalum Sharanam Brajema. Oh, how wonderful it is! Putana, the sister of Bakasura, wanted to kill Krishna by smearing deadly poison on her breasts and having Krishna take it. Nonetheless, Lord Krishna accepted her as his mother, and thus she attained the destination befitting Krishna's mother. Of whom should I take shelter but Krishna, who is most merciful? Aho bakiyam stana kala kutam jigam sayapaya yadapyasadvi lebhegatam datri uchitam datonyam kam vadayalam sharanam brajema. Famous verse, famous why? Because when Mukunda Datta took Gadadhar Pandit to see Pundarik Vijayanidhi, he judged him in his mind as a sensualist, Vishai materialist, because he was dressed opulently, sitting on a bed, being fanned, smoking tobacco, expensive tobacco, and had a pipe, perfumed, like an aristocratic, wealthy man. So he was judged mentally by Gadadhar Pandit. Mukunda Datta picked up on this judgment. And so he thought to show his friend the real nature of Pundarik Vijayanidhi. He would quote a verse, he quoted this one, Aho Bakiyam Stana Kala Kutam. And of course that triggered a episode of ecstatic symptoms in Pundarik Vijayanidhi. And from such a display, Gadadhar Pandit understood that it was all just an exterior covering, and that inside was a heart full of bhakti. And of course we know that eventually he took, later after that, after consulting with Mahaprabhu, he took initiation, accepted Pundarik Vijayanidhi as his guru.
Can you repeat the meaning of that verse?
How wonderful it is! Putana, the sister of Bakasura, wanted to kill Krishna by smearing deadly poison on her breasts and having Krishna take it. Nonetheless, Krishna accepted her as his mother, and thus she attained the destination of befitting Krishna's mother. Of whom should I take shelter but Krishna, who is most merciful? Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Brajema. Sharanagatara Akinchanera E Ilakshana Taramadye Praveshai Atma Samarpana. There are two kinds of devotees, those who are fully satiated and free from all material desires, and those who are fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord. Their qualities are one and the same, but those who are fully surrendered to Krishna's lotus feet are qualified with another transcendental quality, Atma Samarpana, full surrender without reservation. So we have here what is, we could say, described as a differentiation between Shantaras and Dasyaras. Shantaras, they're fully satiated. The word here, satiated, is used. Shanta means peaceful. So when one's satiated or satisfied, they're peaceful. So, and also in Shantaras, they're beyond the allure of the material energy. So they fit this criteria, satiated and without material desires. But Atma Samarpana, with surrender comes some service. So we see that there's, with the entry into Dasyaras, then that there is some surrender and there is some Atma Samarpana, some service. And without reservation. Anukulyasya shankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishya titi vishvaso goptritvi varanam tata atmik nikshepa karpanye sadvidha saranagatahi. The 6 divisions of surrender are the acceptance of those things favorable to devotional service, the rejection of unfavorable things, the conviction that Krishna will give protection, the acceptance that the Lord is one's guardian or master, and self-surrender and humility. Dainyat mani vedana goptrit vivarana avasya rakshive Krishna vishvasapalana. Bhakti anukula matra karyadas vikara bhakti pratikula varja, no, bhakti pratikula varjanangikara. Bhava bhakti pratikula bhava varjanangikara. What does bhakti pratikul mean?
That's avoiding, rejecting the
unfavorable.
Devotion.
Anukul pratikul. So that is from, where is this? Padma Purana, perhaps. Vaishnav Tantra. They're given in a certain order, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives them in the reverse order in his book, in his song. I wonder if it's mentioned in the purports. I can't see it here. No, it's not. Tavasmiti vadan vacha tataiva manasavidan tatstanam ashritastanva bodhate sharanagataha. One whose body is fully surrendered takes shelter at the lotus feet, at the holy place where Krishna had his pastimes, and he prays to the Lord. My Lord, I am yours. Understanding this with his mind, he enjoys spiritual bliss. Okay, so here we go. The last 2 verses appear in Hari Bhakti Vilas 11:14, 4:17 to 4:18. Of course, this is not, the original source for these 6 items of surrender. 6 limbs, they're called. Limbs of surrender. Anga means a limb. Sharanga, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur then says, Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Anhara Tanhara Pratana Sune Srinanda Kumara. 6 limbs, Sharanga Sharanagati. They appear, and as I was saying before, I'm trying to remember where they first are listed, and it's either in the Purana or as in some body of literature known as the Vaishnav Tantras. And then they're later recorded here and in Hari Bhakti Vilas. By Sanatana Goswami. Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatana Goswami. Sharanalana Kare Krishna Atma Sarmapana Krishna Tare Kare Tat Kale Atma Sama. When a devotee thus fully surrenders unto Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna accepts him as one of his confidential associates. Martyo yada tyakta samasta karma niveditatma vichikirshito me tadamritatvam pratipadyamano mayatma bhuyaya cha kalpate vai. The living entity who is subjected to birth and death attains immortality when he gives up all material activities, dedicates his life to the execution of my order, and acts according to my directions. In this way, he becomes fit to enjoy the spiritual bliss derived from exchanging loving mellows with me. Ebe sadhana bhakti lakshana sunasanatana yaha haite pai Krishna prema mahadana. My dear Sanatan, please now hear about the regulative principles for the execution of devotional service. By this process, one can attain the highest perfection of love of Godhead, which is the most desirable treasure. Sadhana bhakti. In other words, he's telling Sanatana Goswami, now I'm going to tell you about sadhana bhakti. The practice, how to practice Krishna consciousness. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhavasa sadhana bidha nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam kriti sadhyata. When transcendental devotional service by which love for Krishna is attained is executed by the senses, it is called sadhana bhakti, or the regulative discharge of devotional service. Such devotion eternally exists within the heart of every living entity. The awakening of this eternal devotion is the potentiality of devotional service and practice. Purport. This verse is found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.2. Because living entities are minute atomic parts and parcels of the Lord, devotional service is already present within them in a dormant condition. Devotional service begins with Shravana Kirtan, hearing and chanting. When a man is sleeping, he can be awakened by sound vibration. Therefore, every conditioned soul should be given the chance to hear the Hare Krishna mantra chanted by a pure Vaishnava. One who hears the Hare Krishna mantra thus vibrated is awakened to spiritual consciousness, or Krishna consciousness. In this way, one's mind gradually becomes purified, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Cheto Darpana Marjana. When the mind is purified, the senses are also purified. Instead of using the senses for sense gratification, the awakened devotee employs the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. This is the process by which dormant love for Krishna is awakened. Using the senses rather than for exploitation, using them for, as Guru Maharaj, to use his terminology, dedication. To take those same items that one would consume for his own pleasure, or her own pleasure, and offer them to the Lord, and then consume the remnants. not denying oneself, it's not abnegation, but it's simply dovetailing the drive of the senses to interact with the attractive objects of the environment, dovetailing that desire with devotional service to Krishna, offering those to Krishna and then accepting the remnants. So nothing is denied as such, but rather repurposed. Yukta Vairagya means repurposing the resources of the environment. Not shunning them, not throwing them in the garbage, not labeling them all as bad, but simply repurposing them. Shravanadi kriya tara swarupa lakshana tatashta lakshane upajaya prema dana. The spiritual activities of hearing, chanting, remembering, and so forth are the natural characteristics of devotional service. The marginal characteristic is that it awakens pure love for Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karaye Udaya. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of the living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. This controversial, much debate rages over the interpretation of this verse. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya Shravanadi Shuddha Chitti Karaye Udaya. Is bhakti inherent in the jiva or is it acquired? Yes. We won't go there this morning. I have my own thoughts. Eta sadhana bhakti duita prakara eka vaidhi bhakti raganuga bhakti ara. There are two processes of practical devotional service. One is regulative devotional service, known as Vaidhi Bhakti, and the other is spontaneous devotional service, known as Raga Bhakti. Raga meaning of the heart, Vaidhi meaning according to the Veda, following Vedic injunction. Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. Rules of purity, rituals. Regulative. Why is it called regulative? Because it's regulated by Vedic injunction. Whereas Raganuga Bhakti is unregulated by anything. The only regulator is the heart. But there's no rules as such, because the heart doesn't follow rules, it follows love. Those who are Ragahina Jana Bhajje Shastrera Agyaya Vaidhi Bhakti Balitare Sarva Shastregaya. Those who have not attained the platform of spontaneous attachment in devotional service render devotional service according to under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master and according to the regulative principles mentioned in the revealed scriptures. According to the revealed scriptures, this kind of devotional service is called Vaidhi Bhakti. According to the scriptures, and Srila Prabhupada has inserted under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master there as well. That doesn't appear to be in the original, but of course he is emphasizing the point that it needs to be done. Bhakti at the Vaidhi stage needs to be done under guidance. So, under guidance of the scripture and the guidance of someone generally who knows the scripture. So the Guru. So Prabhupada is emphasizing that. He inserted that for the purpose of in case his disciples began to think that they could do Vaidhi Bhakti according to their own interpretation of the scripture. And then the regulative element is lost. If their interpretation of the scripture is incorrect, then they're not following scriptural regulation. So in order to avoid that pitfall, Prabhupada has included here, under the guidance of a spiritual master, even though it's not there in the original. We can see its constructive purpose. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Harir Ishvaraha Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyas Chetshatabhayam. O descendant of Bharat, O Maharaj Parikshit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, who is the Supreme Controller, and who always removes the miseries of the living entities, must always be heard about from reliable sources, and he must be glorified and remembered by one who wishes to become fearless. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gauda Bhakta Vrinda. We'll read a sub-chapter from Revealed Truth by Srila Bhaktisundar Govindadeva Goswami Maharaj.
Was that the end of the...
No.
No, there's still more.
Oh, there's a lot more in this chapter. It's a long chapter. I think it goes to the very end of this book. There's probably about 300 verses in this chapter. No, not that many. There's quite a few. 180 or something. So we've got about another 70, 80. It's going to be another few days before you finish it. And then there is, what is this, chapter 22, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And there's after this another 2 chapters of Sanatana Shiksha. And then one final chapter, which is of the Madhya Lila. So we have 3 more chapters of Madhya Lila after this, 2 of Sanatana Shiksha, and the last one is when Mahaprabhu finally converts Prakashananda Saraswati to Bhakti from Mayavad. And of course there's the famous explanation of the Atmaram verse, where there's three sittings, we can say, or 3 places, incidents where Mahaprabhu explains the Atmaram verse. The first is, of course, to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. The next is to Sanatana Goswami. And then very quickly after that, it's to Prakashananda Saraswati. 64 explanations. Atmaramas Chimunayoni Grantap Virukrame Kurvan Yohoi Chakim Bhakti Mitam Bhuta Guno Harahi. And he explains 64 different meanings. Quite the genius feat. Supernatural feat. So that is the theme of the final chapter. So that'll be we might get to it by the end of the year. The gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the supreme gift of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, has come to us by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the divine form of Radha Krishna combined, who appeared in Navadvip Dham to distribute the process of chanting his holy name. Just in case anyone's wondering, this is the chapter and the section Pure Devotion. The theme is Pure Devotion, and the chapter is entitled The Transcendental Vibration Form of the Lord. Subchapter, The Gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu has appeared to give the Mahamantra. He is the divine form of Radha Krishna combined, appeared in Navadvip to distribute the process of chanting his holy name. He is the worshipable deity for the age of Kali, and because he is the giver of the supreme gift, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is Parama Karuna, the most merciful. Satyam Kali Yuga Vipra Shri Hare Nama Mangalam Param Svastyayanam Nrinam Nyastyeva Gatiranyata. That's from the Padma Purana. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalonastyeva Nastyeva Nastyeva Gatiranyata. And that is from the Brihanaradiya Purana. Mahaprabhu taught everyone, in the age of Kali, all auspiciousness can be found only in the chanting of the Lord's holy name. Harinam Sankirtan is the only way to attain the highest auspiciousness. In this age, it is not necessary to read a Ganges full of scriptures. It is only necessary to chant the Lord's divine name. Chanting the holy name is most appropriate for the conditioned souls in the age of Kali. Especially during this age, the mundane world is full of sorrow, and happiness only comes to the conditioned souls through chanting the Lord's holy name. The Lord descends from Golok Vrindavan, where his divine play is always flowing with all varieties of charming qualities. In the form of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, in the age of Kali, the Lord descends from Goloka Vrindavan in the form of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the age of Kali to connect everyone with his beauty and ecstasy. There is no alternative, actually, to trying to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without offense, to happily trying to chant with faith, love, and affection. Harinamaiva Kevalam. It is necessary to always chant the holy name and not to do anything without chanting. Chanting the Lord's holy name is the goal of life, and the soul is supremely benefited by it. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Guru Dev Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Shri Giridhari Gopinath Vadana Mohan Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Jai Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Jai Gashai Gauri Charana Bandhan Jaha hoite Vignana Samasta Puran Jai Gashai Yanra Muni Tandra Dasa Tan Samara Parvenu Mura Pancharasa Tandera Charana Sevi Mantasani Vasa Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giri Dharuju ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Guru Dev ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai Sri Rupanuga Guru Varg ki Jai Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Samaveda Vaishnav Mandala ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Brinda ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Jai Gauranga Mahaprabhu